Hello guys, and welcome back to Confined to 681's Minecraft Adventures. The time has finally come for pillagers. These guys just showed up while I was AFKing. I've done some farming. Let's take care of these guys, shall we? Oh, there's mutiny. Retreat. Eat. Alright. It's ominous bottles now instead of just giving you bad omen. Nice. I can kill these guys now without concern. Some changes have been made within my resource pack. And that is I reverted the green grass, or the color map. It's still in there, you just have to change the name of it to color map, and the green grass will be back. With that being said, I'm thinking about uploading it somewhat soon. I'll explain about that here, how you would use it, and basically how you would use it is it's an add-on for Classic Faithful. Classic Faithful Japa, the Japa branch. And this is how you'd use it. You would have Faithful at the bottom, my add-on second or above that, and then low fire if you choose to download that. Yeah. It's nice that this is actually a thing you could do now, because back in the day it was a bit more of a pain than it is now. Oh yeah, I've also bred the cows a few times off camera. Since I don't want to use up the durability on my sword, and I don't want to use up the durability on my good iron axe, I'm just going to craft a stone axe, since they basically do the same damage. And it's time for the culling of the cows. Because there's a lot in there, and I think if I kept breeding them, I'm just going to make a stone sword. I think if I kept breeding them, that it would literally start into decramming them, because of how many there are in there. So it's time for the grand culling. I wonder what happened to that chicken that was in there. Because I haven't seen it in a while. There's so many cows in there, I can't get in. Oh. Well, needless to say, I don't think food's going to be a problem for a while. A long while from the looks of it. Oh no, the chicken. Oh. Yeah, food's not an issue anymore. In fact, the opposite comes into play of, I've got so much, what do I do with it all? So yeah, good start to the episode there. Also, another good thing to the start of this episode is I should have been harvesting the sugarcane, but I haven't. Oh well. I think we should have enough sugarcane to make some books. And then some books into bookcases. Oh yeah, I also moved the potatoes over here. I've got a plan for the potatoes. Lots of plans for the potatoes. In fact, it should be 45 books. How many bookcases will that... 15, okay. And I think that's literally the number you need for an enchanting setup. If I'm not wrong. Which I could be wrong. That's a distinct possibility. I don't really have a good spot to put this. I have something I want to build for this, but I don't want to do that quite yet. Let's see, enchanting table down. Hey, level 30. Now, if I check my diamond reserves, I have 3, so I can make a pickaxe and have that ready to be enchanted. Chest. Yes. And grindstone. So that's ready to go. Oh, yeah. What's the one thing you need for enchanting? Obviously, it's lapis. I remember when you just put the item in and you could enchant it, but it would take all your levels, so you had to level up all those levels back. Oh, man. The old way of doing things. Sorry if the mic audio just got suddenly louder. I turned it up on the audio interface. But yeah, I'm going to harvest this real quick. I'm going to pause. I'll be right back. Alright. So, as it turned out, that took longer to harvest than I initially thought. A lot longer, in fact. Yeah. I'm going to put that away and then turn the rest of this into bread so I can give it to the villagers. Close that. And then after that, I think it's just grab some food out of the furnace and then head to the caves. That's a lot of iron golems. Don't know if those are necessary. Looks like the villager breeder's working as intended. You know what? That's fine. You can be back there. Actually, I would even argue that it's a good thing that there's one in there. I think I might do what I did in my last Java Let's Play. Just dig a hole and put the golems in there that I don't necessarily want. Or I could just kill them. It is free iron just walking around after all. But yeah. I was somewhat hoping that would be enough XP to give me so I could enchant that diamond pickaxe. but it's not. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, I might as well get that smelting. And then, since we just coaled a bunch, I'm going to breed the cows again. I don't think this is going to result in enough XP to enchant that pickaxe either. Probably not. I got pushed right the way out. It might be time to expand this. To be honest, they're not causing that much lag. Which, that's a good thing. Alright. I think I'm going to AFK here for a minute and see if this ends up being enough XP to push me over to level 30, because that would be quite nice to take a potentially fortune pickaxe into the mine. Let me actually check real quick and see if that could potentially be fortune. But yeah, I'll be back in a second. Alright, so I may have went and killed a few more cows to get up to level 30. But it was worth it. Hopefully. Please be worth it. Fortune 3, please. Yes! It's not unbreaking, but I'll take it. Okay, so, now things just got a lot easier. And that is really, really good. It means we can go mining and come back with a ton more iron than before. Let's put that in the inventory. And do I need to sleep? Yeah, might not be a bad idea to sleep. I might pause till it gets night and then sleep. Yeah, let's do that. Alrighty. Just slept. We should be good to go to the caves. I know it's contradictory, I say don't. It's a good idea to mine at night because then there's less spawns, but whilst that is true, it's not easy to get to the caves when you're having to deal with all the mobs. Now I gotta go back to my house to deposit this banner. Also, I feel like they drop their crossbows way too often. Actually, if I had more arrows, I might consider taking one of those with me. But I've only got the 8. Plus, I don't... Okay, in the Bedrock Let's Play, I did use a crossbow quite a lot until most... I think it was halfway through it I switched over to a bow. I much prefer bows because they have the infinity enchant. So you don't need to keep a constant supply of arrows in your inventory, which is kind of the biggest downside. A non-infinity bow is having to keep an eye on your arrow supply. But yeah, so I like to have an infinity bow. Until I can get one, though, I wouldn't be opposed to just carrying like a stack or 2 stacks of arrows in my inventory. Anywho, light that up and down. to the depths of this world. If I ever went this way? No. No, I haven't. But something tells me, yeah, it's just gonna dead end. Not too shocking that it just dead ended like that. Because it's been so recent, I still remember my way through this ravine. I should probably be doing this because I have lost a I got like 2 episodes into a hardcore world. By the way, that's not, I didn't never uploaded that. And on episode 2, I was going mining for iron. And a creeper fell off a ledge on my head and blew up and ended the hardcore run. So, yeah, I try to keep areas like that lit up. Even though this isn't hardcore, I can respawn. I still would rather not die. It's not the greatest thing. Okay, so I go up here, then across, and then down. Actually, I could just do that. Oh, Fail jump is fail. Do I go that way, or... Actually, I see some... I missed a lot of resources, or didn't mine a lot of resources down here on the way out. Kind of glad I didn't now. Because now I can essentially duplicate them with the fortune pickaxe. Which is a huge win. At least in my book. It means gathering iron can be done more efficiently, which is excellent, which means... Yeah, it may not be too long until we have a competent toolsmith or armorsmith. I'm actually really considering the armorsmith being... blah, 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 blah. I'm really considering using the armorsmith this go-around. Because it might mean I could achieve diamond armor sooner. It depends on how well this mining trip goes. Because if I could find a fair few diamonds, I might just craft diamond armor on the spot. Actually, how's my shield looking? I might need to get a new shield. That might be something I do while I'm down here. So I've got a fair amount of coal on me. Thanks in part to that, my fortune pick. Only flaw is it doesn't have unbreaking, but I'm not too fussed about that. I can enchant more pickaxes. Diamonds! Ooh! Oh! Where? That's a creeper. Let's get this area a little better lit. Oh, wow. That's a lot. Yeah, not going that way. This way is much safer. 10? Not bad. It was actually a decent sized vein, which I'm not used to finding in caves. Like, at all. here and mine these. Before that skeleton comes back, preferably. 12 diamonds. Oh. Scratch that. Whoa. That bat scared me. Okay. No more there. 16 diamonds. So yeah, I'm... Can we get this in a situation where you two just shoot each other? Yes. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of this guy. Not what I meant to do. I meant to grab my steak. Alright, yeah, you're still here. Actually, I'm going to use this little pocket here to my advantage and smelt a little bit of iron because I need to replace my shield. Actually, I've got... Never mind. How much... Yeah, I think that's worth it. I'll leave this chest here and just get rid of the stuff I don't particularly want to carry with me throughout the cave. It's close. This is close enough to the exit. I should be able to find it. Actually, I'll take the furnace with me. Even though I think you can make a furnace out of deep slate. Scratch that. I'm pretty sure you can make a furnace out of deep slate. I saw a geode over there. More. Okay. This has already been incredibly successful. Not really in the stuff I needed to find. Or... Yeah, I really came in here for iron. Oh, man. I'll take diamonds, though. I'm not going to complain about that. I went the wrong way the first time. Actually, no, I didn't, because if I had mined all these previously, I wouldn't have got the benefit of using fortune on them. Never mind, I went entirely the right way. Okay, now time not to be stupid and lose it all. Actually, to prevent that... I never accomplished my goal of making another shield. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and swap these out now, and then once that one gets some damage on it, I'll just repair it. And I'll go ahead and do that, because I think I've stated before, I will always take the higher damage output. Yeah, I think I said that episode 2. Yeah, last time we were in last mining trip. I said that while referring to an iron sword. Okay, so that's just another way to get to where I just came from. That's interesting. Alright, so I'm going to go back to this chest in the pocket and deposit some more stuff into it. Helmet and boots. I can literally just... Okay. Yep, no complaints here. May not be what I came down here to do, but I ain't complaining. Full set of diamond armor. On episode 6, I think this is? Yeah, it sounds about right. Oh, yes. I always enjoy me a good mob fight. Probably should just take those creepers out. Instead of just letting them explode, but... Yeah, I'll just take them out. I do need gunpowder. Actually, my end strategy is fairly dependent on gunpowder, so... Actually, since I'm bringing that up, and mining isn't the most entertaining thing in the world to watch, my strategy for the end is one I employed on the server I play on with Warlord and James. And basically, how I went about it was I bridged out to the end islands and got an elytra and came back and took out the dragon. Which might be the same strategy I use here. It's just finding an end city is one of the more painful things. Because if you get bad RNG, you get really bad RNG, and it can take so long. Like, it took so long, it legitimately feels like I was looking for hours. I don't think I was, but I may have been. Alright. That's a good amount. Is that? I can't remember. I was just here, and yet I can't remember if this goes anywhere. But yeah, that's probably going to be my end strategy, because it, one, it actually minimizes the risk quite a bit. And if the event you do get Enderman on you, it makes it quite easy to get away from them. But it has a few flaws. Oh, yeah, I'll take this. Let's light up the outside area a bit better. I was just talking about needing gunpowder. Name tag. Ooh. That is so good. really... Ah, yes. Finally, we can have a horse. Before I forget, let's leave a waypoint here. And as per usual, when I'm not using it, I'm going to keep it disabled. Okay, so it sounds like there's a cave literally right on the other side of that wall. No. Oh my. So, am I under a lava lake? No. Oh. Okay. After I get these diamonds, I am definitely mining up and running these back to base. Because I've legitimately got so many, I don't feel comfortable staying down here. I legitimately do not want to lose these. So, I mean, I don't think I need to state that. Obviously, who would? Yeah. I'm going to run these back to base. And an enchanted golden apple. Or, well, I guess because of the resource pack, it looks like a diamond apple. Yeah, no. Nope. Back to base. I will take the lapis, though, because I do have a feeling I'm going to be doing a lot of enchanting. I probably should enchant something, like my sword or something. Well, anyway, I'll think of that later, but in the meantime, I'll catch you all back at base. Alright, not back to base quite yet. But I am out of the cave, and it looks like I may have forgot to hit the pause button, so... that means I'm going to have to cut it out, which means I have no accurate gauge for how long this has been going. Ugh. Sometimes it feels like the button just doesn't work. Actually, there's a cave this close to base. I might actually have to check this out, because I was planning on building the potato farm over here. So that might be the last time we get to check it out before I put a structure on, or not a structure, but something semi-permanent on top of it. Okay, so we got quite a lot of stuff to smelt. Ironically, not much iron, which is what I went after. Lava bucket. Storage is getting to be a real problem. Not surprising, though. It's literally all the gunpowder I have. Alright. That'll be enough to fill these 3 furnaces and keep them going for a while. I have hit level 30, but I'm not quite sure what I want to enchant quite yet. I'm thinking about another pickaxe, since this one seems to be... Okay, wow. You guys spawn way too much. Which is weird, because there's villagers over there. Literally right over there. Yeah, I'm thinking about enchanting another diamond pickaxe and hoping it has fortune on it. I put the diamonds over here. Until I can at least get a villager that sells mending, which we're still quite a ways away from that. Because I don't have anything set up aside from just the breeder. No. That was a miss, but not an entire miss. That's what I would consider an acceptable miss, because I can still use that pickaxe. But it'll obviously be at a later date. Okay. Probably should breed the cows up some more sometime. Okay, how are the villagers doing? The villagers are doing quite well. That's the benefit of having an automatic villager breeder, though. Is they typically do work really well. Even if they do take a little bit more thought and a little bit longer to set up. And because of the way I've built it, I don't have to worry about them overbreeding and causing lag like some of the other automatic villager breeders do. So, in short, it's a simple build that's not going to be problematic later on down the line. Which, in that aspect, is really nice. Though I think I might start, on next episode anyway, building houses for what I'm going to call the money makers. And then we'll go from there. I think I have enough iron to make a few more rails. And I'm not really I'm more, since we got so many diamonds, I'm more concerned about getting a mending villager set up than I am much else. So yeah, it's gonna... How many bones did I come back with, or did I throw them out? Because if I threw them out, I've made a slight miscalculation. More than a slight miscalculation, actually. Bones would be so useful. Then I could grow the spruce trees and the big spruce trees and actually finish my house. Instead, I think I'm just going to settle for planting some spruce trees across the river. That's probably the play. Whoa, did not know there was a cave there. That might be too close to the others, because these trees typically take up a lot of block spacing. Okay. Real quickly, while the thought's still in my head, I'm going to collect some of this clay because I had a thought, and I would very much like to not have my village be just a bunch of similar looking houses. I'd like each one to kind of have its own thing. So, in light of that, I think one block that could work really well in it is bricks. It's not something I've historically used a lot. At all. Or at all. I actually haven't started using it until much recently. So, in light of that, I think this might be the perfect project for it to get some more use on. Wheat's growing nicely. How about the potatoes? Oh, perfect. I can even fortune them now. Now, I mentioned this just a little bit ago, actually, but I'd actually like to get a start on it. Because this will inevitably... Whoa, okay. This will end up being the crop that pulls in the emeralds. Is potatoes. If I had dark oak or the ability to grow the big jungle trees, I would just settle on sticks. Because that is a really good way to cheat. Well, not cheat the system, but at the same time, cheat the system. But I don't have infrastructure for acquiring lots of bones yet, and I also don't have the saplings to make the trees themselves. Now, spruce trees is an option, but at the same time, I also use a lot of spruce in builds. Primarily for the roof, but sometimes other things too. It kind of just depends on what the build calls for. So I'd prefer not use that, but I can if need be. More apples. Actually, is the gold... That's a lot of gold. I'm going to start crafting gold apples whenever I've got the surplus on gold. Because it's going to be fairly useful in the end. I don't remember exactly how much damage shulkers do, but I know it's enough that it's ingrained in me. If I'm going to do the strategy I'm going to use, I definitely want golden apples. So I don't remember how bad it's going to be, but it's obviously pretty rough if it's left that much of an impact. But somehow become a repressed memory. Okay, I think I'm going to definitely, if not fence the area in, definitely keep it well lit. Because this is going to be, well, you'll see in a second. I also need to get a dedicated tree farming area set up. I like to have little spots near where I build bases that I can farm pretty much, or reliably farm pretty much any type of wood I would need. I don't really farm jungle trees because the only use I have for them, because I don't really like the wood. Although, in my opinion, a jungle tree wood is much more usable than acacia. I really dislike acacia. Have ever since it came out. It's just too red. And luckily, I don't think I'm alone in that camp. I think there's quite a few people, in fact, that have a distaste for it. Actually, if I say no. Yeah, I literally have to get rid of it. Okay. Means this block. Yes. Okay, so now that I have some experience with it in this context, I may not be the biggest fan in the world of leaf litter. Because it is kind of getting in the way of a lot. Granted, it's easy enough if it's in a spot where you can clear it like you would with water, like you would tall grass. And it's manageable, but if it's near an edge like this where the water just beelines to the next lowest level, it's kind of inconvenient. Actually, I've yet to test if it can be put through a composter. I might just do that, because if it's compostable, then, well, that solves one of the problems. I don't need seeds. I've got more than enough. I'm gonna see if I can feed it through a composter, because if I can, I'm just gonna compost it all. I need 4 chests for this. Do I have enough iron in my inventory? I think so. And then 2 of these need to become hoppers. I need some plank or slabs, and then composter. For those that didn't know you could do this, it is very useful. Okay. That is essentially an automatic bone meal farm. I don't really need those. I'll pick my 2 crafting tables I placed just to get them out of my inventory. Oh no! Okay, so once... I'm going to go ahead and just place the water. Because it can't hurt to do that then. And now we just need to bring this out to... far on this side. Okay, so it looks like it's not going to cut into that cave as much as I thought it would. And now I know I can compost these. I'm just going to harvest them all. And it'll turn into bone meal that can be used for either A, making big spruce trees to chop down for sticks for villager trading, or other things. I don't have a good idea what the other things are at the moment, though. How is bone meal useful for outside of certain? Yeah, I think that's literally it. I can't think of another use bone meal has, aside from bone blocks. Bone blocks actually aesthetically have a lot of good uses. Actually, I forgot about that, because if I can't use bone blocks, which I typically don't because there's something you only get towards the late side of the game, I typically substitute with birch, because birch is lighter and kind of has a similar effect. Stripped birch works really well too, because of the way bones has a or bone blocks have a directional property like logs do, so that can work fairly well as a good substitute. If you didn't know that, well, now you do. Though if you played this game long enough, you probably already knew that. Okay. So this is about as wide as I would ever need. If I were going to expand it anyway, it'll be that way. I would like to actually build the shack that I want to use as the entrance to the branch mine, and also a way to AFK this farm. I'll probably build it right here next to the river, put a little dock out the back. That way it could serve multiple purposes. It could be a fishing dock / boathouse / AFK room / entrance to the branch mine. I like it when things have multiple purposes like that, because it just makes life so much easier. Speaking of making life easier, I still don't know what I'm going to do for a storage room, so if anyone has any suggestions for that, I would much appreciate the idea. By the time this comes out, I may have that well sorted. That's a real maybe I will, maybe I won't situation. I don't know, James typically has good ideas. Not so sure what Warlord's idea would be. Probably something Nether themed, knowing him. Which I wouldn't mind, but that would require going to the Nether, which I'm not brave enough to do quite yet. I want at least protection armor before I venture into there. I don't really want to die when I'm at the right levels to easily be able to enchant gear. Actually, that's probably what I'll do if I'm doing a lot of AFKing, is if I get enough XP to enchant gear, I'll probably just go for enchanting armor. That way we can start moving along in progressing into the other dimensions that the game has to offer, because I want to get on the Elytra grind, basically, because I really would like to have an Elytra. And once again, that's a statement that's, well, who doesn't? Also, yeah, I might move the lava farm soon. ish. Well, anyway, all it's left to do is some farming. See, I think if I AFK in my main house, I might be close enough for this to... Yeah, it's definitely close enough. I just don't know if how many additions or how many rows I can have that way that it would still be close enough. It's anyone's guess. Anyway, I'll harvest these real quick and get that planted in, and then I'll end the episode because I don't know how much of what I was or when I was mining out of the cave, I don't know how long that took and how much I'm gonna have to edit out, so I don't know. This episode's been fun though, because a lot happened. I do mean a lot. Oh man, it would really suck if something happened to the episode file. Actually, I think that's why I stopped the 7 Days to Die series, was I recorded an episode and it just... something happened to where I could watch the video, but I couldn't edit it. And I just went, well, there goes my motivation, and it zapped my motivation, and I didn't continue it. That taught me one thing, and that is back up your save. That way, if something like that happens, you can redo it. So yeah, I'm already doing that with this one. Also, that's just generally good advice. Keep your saves backed up. That way, in case something happens, you can restore from a backup. Because there are lots of ways your worlds can corrupt. Like, for instance, my long-term Java world got... well, it wasn't corrupted. I just couldn't play it because something happened that caused the game to not be a game. As I'll just say. Like, I could open items or blocks that had inventories, but it would take one forever for them to open, or the GUI to actually pop up, and they would just be empty. A few updates later, that issue was resolved, but it still resulted in me not being able to play on that world for a long period. So yeah, that's something that was beyond my control, that I don't know what was causing it. But it's just a good reminder for everyone. Keep your worlds backed up. But yeah, with that being said, I'm going to end the episode here. I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Remember, build ideas down below. More than happy to hear them. Though the one I've already got something planned for the enchanting setup. I'm going to build what I built on my long-term world. Yeah. I've been Confined 268-1. I'll catch you guys all in the next episode. Peace.